Ay, my gosh. Oh. Save, save. Once again, House Wolfort stands before three diverging paths. The time has come to lay their convictions bare before the scales and make their greatest decision yet. And I would imagine the last. The story is approaching a turning point. It is recommended that you save your current progress. Proceed to save screen. Okay, yeah. Yep, here we go. Just again with the saving. Okay. Jeez.
You are certain Hyzan's army marches for the Grand Norzelian mines?
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
No, say no.
Time. We knew this.
Esfrost's army gathers at Twinsgate as well.
War's breaking out over this thing, and we've got to be ready.
How will Glenbrook respond, King Roland?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt crystals to the holy state of Hyzant.
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people shall submit to the goddess and her teachings. There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystals, which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of people to live in equality and harmony.
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzant's dominion over Norzelia's salt is why we are in conflict already? Is the suffering of the Rosal not proof enough that the goddess's vaunted equality is a lie?
She speaks the truth, my king. Handing over the salt crystals is tantamount to giving Hyzant's goddess free reign of Norzelia. Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
Yay.
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes, in exchange for the security and prosperity of the many.
And the sacrifice of the Rosal, is that a small price to you?
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer to ally with Esfrost and strike back at Hyzant. The salt deposits within the mines give us the leverage we need to convince Gustadolf to join us.
Ally with Esfrost? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
Hypocrite.
I see no reason why we should not. You proposed abdicating the throne for the sake of the kingdom and its people. So you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings and judging this matter dispassionately.
I cannot believe my own ears. I will not have you lecture me on feelings when it is not your father he murdered.
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered for generations. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our own lives are thrown away to make a few more grains of your precious salt. And now, even with proof that the goddess is a lie, you would watch us dig our own graves for your comfort.
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Roselle in due time.
No, I've heard that before. Your due time is never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. If Hyzant seizes the salt crystals, we forfeit the best opportunity in decades to free my people. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We must be a light in the darkness.
We cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Liberating the Roselle would be extremely dangerous. We cannot take such a risk. Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzant will rain down upon us?
Esfrost would pounce on us. sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Roselle in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
Your face is a
The
myth.
legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolfort domain.
Silence!
Somebody shut up.
I've heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. But know that a choice must be made. There can only be one way forward. Face the scales of conviction and prepare to make peace with the outcome.
I'm getting nervous. I can't. The vote we take today may well open a rift between us. Nevertheless, it must proceed, and I am prepared to accept its outcome. I'm not. I am not prepared at all. This is risky business. Can I get out of here? Lord Serenoa, I cannot help but feel that our greatest battle lies ahead, regardless of which path you choose. I know this may not be the best time to say so, but my wife gave birth to our first child not a few days ago. You are a father before a soldier. It is your duty to protect your own house before that of Wolfort. Not force you to march with us. I ask only that you act according to your own convictions. We must pull together if we are to emerge victorious. I ask that you see us through this final battle. That's a rough one. Yeah, like not force. You know, if he feels like he's gotta go, he's gotta go. But in both cases he is protecting his family. Soldier guy rules. I don't have time to think about it, my lord. But of course, the path before me diverges as well, and I must also take time to think before making a decision. Let us both choose a path that leaves us with no regrets. Thank you, Lord Serenoa. It's an honor to call you my lord. Cannot help but feel that House Wolfort's greatest battle lies ahead, regardless of which path you choose. Yeah, you and me, buddy. You and me both. Thank King Roland. Ah! No! Buttons! I cannot help but feel that House Wolfort's greatest battle lies ahead. Thank King Roland, Lady Frederica, and Sir Benedict's convictions would diverge so greatly after all this time. Just between you and me, Lord Serenoa, what do you make of their plans? Oh my gosh. I can't have this doing this right now. Hang on. Going back to the other remote. Okay. What do you make of their plans? I believe that Benedict plans to use Esfrost's ideals of freedom to ascend to the top of all Norzalia. I think Roland intends to put his personal feelings aside to bring peace and equality to everyone. Frederica's wish is a human one. She desires to liberate those who have been cruelly oppressed. I mean, I think I'm with Frederica on this. But in reality, humans only act in their own best interest, even if it means turning a blind eye to the suffering of others. Lady Frederica is a strong woman to stand up for what is right. I couldn't agree more. Ignoring their plight now would be shameful, especially knowing what we do of their innocence. Everyone's choices are deeply rooted in their convictions. It makes me wonder if they'll be able to abide by the Scale's decisions. Lord Serenoa, it will fall to you to lead everyone down the right path. Of course, I will wish for us all to walk astride the same path as we always have. I'm almost terrified to find out which way the Scales will tip. I pray House Wolfort makes the right decision. This game. Hey, hi.
Serenoa.
Only we can free the Roselle and expose the lie that has kept them in bondage these many years. However, we must move quickly while their gaze is fixed upon the salt crystals. I believe we can succeed. I hear your plea, yet I cannot help but wonder if you wish to act with too much haste.
But
I know not what I can do to prove to you that I have thought this through. I swear to you, this is no fit of pique. Benedict's stratagem may also provide the chance to strike at Hyzant. Would that not be enough? It also prolongs this war, and thus the immense suffering of my people. Even if we do prevail, you know as well as I that my brother is not a merciful man. He'll not spare so much as a thought for the weak. That much is true. The Roselle's plight would be then buried once more in amid the negotiations between the nations. Do you see? The time is now, and only we have the power to save them. Power we forfeit if we ascend to Roland's plan.
I have decided.
His is the one vision for a future that I cannot abide. Perhaps my concerns seem narrow when all Norzelia is at stake, but I know you can save my brothers and sisters. I beg you to consider it.
Serenoa.
We must give Hyzant the Salt Crystal's cow Aspharos and unite all Norzelia in the name of the goddess, else we will never know peace. Roselle will continue to suffer, 'tis true, but this will end war as we know it, and countless more will live in peace as equals.
I have made my decision.
I will see this done, not just for the people of Glenbrook, but for all Norzelia. Roland, you are the king. Surely cooperation with Hyzant need not mean the forfeit of the kingdom.
I think not.
That is where you are wrong, my friend. My time on the throne has shown me that the people need a force more powerful than any king to show them the way. There are many paths that lead us out of war, Roland, cooperating with Aspharos, for instance. End the war by allying with the very Archduke who set this in motion? Cooperating with that tyrant. No, cooperating with that tyrant ends nothing. His avarice has only brought pain and suffering to this land.
Moreover,
If anyone understood the torturous path I've taken at this decision, I thought it would be you, Serenoa.
My lord.
We share a common goal with Aspharos at the moment. It is incumbent upon us to seize that opportunity and rid Norzelia of Hyzant for good. Indeed, the salt crystals make an alliance with Aspharos possible, but Roland would never assent to it. He feels the weight of the crown, underestimates his own abilities, and has allowed his hatred for Gustadolf to cloud his judgment. I sympathize, but those matters should have no bearing on the welfare of our house. Perhaps you are right, but then what of Frederica's vision? Do you concede that her plan concerns our house?
Quite impossible.
I concede nothing, for her strategy is out of the question. She asks us to forfeit all we have fought to build up in this domain. How can I reasonably entertain such a proposition? And you'll brook no argument otherwise. None.
We must
May I remind you that you are Lord of House Wolfort. Your duty is to your people above all else.
I believe I've reached a decision.
This moment requires a dispassionate mind. I pray you have one. Okay. Okay. Can I prolong this? Alright, Anna. First up.
Lord Serenoa.
Benedict and King Roland would march us to war. Frederica would see Hyzant hunt us for all eternity. Perhaps her vision is not so different. So it's come to this. Ally with a one-time opponent, or flee with the Roselle.
However,
Bold proposals all. Our tactics must be flawless. I wish to place my faith in Frederica's vision. So you assent to Frederica's vision for the future. War is coming, a war for all Norzelia, and you wish to forfeit your role in it. Oh, and you would forfeit your role in it. There is no better time to free the Roselle than now, while Aspharos and Hyzant squabble over the salt crystals. This is how we end the war. Hyzant will crumble once we free the Roselle. The Death Knell and Elfric are unleashed on the battlefield. The casualties will eclipse any war that's come before. The middle is just not true. And Anna knows that. And I know that. Like, they're not using the Roselle as an army. That's not how that works. There's no better time to free the Roselle than now.
even so...
They squabble over Norzelia's future. They who control the salt control the continent. And here you stand, saying you'd throw away that same power just to free the Roselle. In short, yes, no matter what nation claims the salt crystals, their people have a future. But the Roselle have no future, save the one House Wolfort can give them.
Then,
So you assent not simply to appease Frederica? No. Nay, I now know the Roselle to be innocents, and I shall go to their aid because it is the righteous thing to do. She and I share a common morality, one that led us to this judgment. Then I have no further questions. It remains a dangerous and ill-conceived plot in my eyes. Nevertheless, I am proud to serve a lord so sincerely devoted to his cause. And then you gotta backstab me. I don't think she's convinced.
Aye, lad.
Our sweat and blood fed this land, built it to a proper domain. I see no reason why we should surrender it all to Hyzant. Lady Frederica, while I sympathize, asked that we risk everything for the sake of the Roselle.
Here's what I think.
Benedict's got the right of it, I reckon, but even that doesn't quite quiet the nagging feeling I get every time I think about our options. Frederica's visions! How could you possibly support Lady Frederica's vision? Have you gone mad? The war will never end so long as we hold the salt crystals. We must relinquish them and break the cycle of violence. I wish to carry on, nay, surpass my father's legacy of protecting the Roselle. I need you with me, Eredor. I mean... yeah. Outdo your own father. Meaning what exactly? Do more for the Roselle than he did? I know things aren't what they were during the Salt Iron War, but is it not House Wolfort's duty to come to the aid of those in need? Are we not to fight injustice and tyranny wheresoever it may be? You dare invoke Lord Simon's own words. I cannot do this alone, Eredor. The risk is too great. Only if all of House Wolfort unites as one will we have a chance to succeed. I hear you, lad.
So,
Just give me a moment to sit with what you've said. He's like, I'm not doing this. I just need two of you to be on my side. Here we stand after a bitter fight to reclaim the crown city, only for the king to speak of forsaking it. As his subject, it is my duty to follow his decree, and yet... My lord, the choice between us feels immense. I am utterly adrift. Pray tell me how you see the proposals from King Roland and the others. I need your guidance. Frederica. You've taken Frederica's side in all this. What fascination do the Roselle hold for you, my lord? Frederica has shown me a future in which no one is beholden to salt, or indeed to any nation. There is no better time to free the Roselle than now, while Usfrost and Hyzant squabble over the salt crystals. Or indeed to any nation. So if the choice is to ally with the duchy, who prize might over all else, or submit to the holy state, who prey upon the weak.
But...
You mean to suggest we simply do neither? Precisely. She has shown me that the Rosellan legends are true. That means there is hope for us all, a hope I would bet my life upon. So long as we sit between two nations who've no compassion for the weak, I fear we will never know peace.
Furthermore,
I take your point. War will spread, and perhaps only end when the Death Knell and Elfric are unleashed upon the continent. So you see why I would choose to flee with the weak, rather than to be party to the atrocities of the powerful. It will be a fight. It will be a flight amid a hail of arrows and steel. But so righteous and noble that I would be proud to give my life for it. You stated your case well, my lord. Oh, please, I hope so.
What do you need?
Each path before us demands a great sacrifice in exchange for a great reward. I am sure King Roland, Benedict, and Frederica have agonized over their proposals.
Well,
So now we must agonize over our own decisions. And Frederica, I must say I'm surprised by your support of Frederica's vision. I've been by her side for years, but even I must admit it rather hopeful, if I'm being charitable. Perhaps you see something I do not. Norzelia will be forever plagued by war. I wish to leave this place and create a new nation that knows only peace. My father has defended the Roselle for all these years, and I intend to carry on his legacy. In truth, I agree with you. Her plan is imprudent and ill-advised. No, Norzelia will be forever plagued by war. You mean you mean to forsake not only your domain, but all Norzelia?
I don't know.
I can see that Hyzant will not admit defeat should we manage to free the Roselle. Do you truly believe that searching for Centralia and starting anew will prove any easier? I do, though I acknowledge that it is far easier said than done.
Huh?
I should say so. It sounds like a daydream, if I may speak so plainly.
I don't know.
Yet the world is vast and full of wonders. I cannot in good faith argue that Centralia does not exist. Perhaps forging ahead is the only answer. May it lead us to the future you dream of, if that is what you desire. For nothing else, as Frederica's attendant, I must say that it warms my heart to see you support her so diligently. You must truly love her. I do. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, time to vote and close my eyes and hope something got through.
It is time to cast our votes. The opinions before us are many. Roland's, Frederica's, Benedict's. Which to choose? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I have made up my mind. I stand with you, Lord Serenoa. Just one more. Just need one more.
You have my vote.
Okay, we did it. I put my faith in you, Lord Serenoa. Right? There's no way this can turn badly.
I have faith in you.
I have decided that this is what's best for both King Roland and us all. We sweepin'? We sweepin'?
I'm with you.
Yes! Yes! Oh, thank goodness! My mind's all made up. You've got my vote, lad. Oh!
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
Yes! Swept them.
The way forward is decided.
That was an ominous boom. Okay, game.
Frederica's dream is worth realizing. We will free the Roselle from the source.
If grief's compassion's move completed. I can't read. Brain, stop. Save your game. Yep, and we're gonna put that right there. That just goes right there below the other one. Yep, okay. Yeesh. Roland's gonna be pissed.
A tumultuous meeting exposes a yawning chasm between Roland, Frederica, and Benedict's visions for the future. Yet only one will emerge victorious, for such is the custom of House Wolford. As ever, the scales of conviction have the final word. The time has come for judgments to be rendered and leaders to steel themselves for the outcome.
Chapter 17, Part 2, one last request. Wait, no, is that 16, 17, 18? Oh, 18? Chapter 18, yeah. Getting all kinds of kerfuffled.
We've chosen our path. We are to free the Roselle being held in Hyzant's source.
He's pissed.
You have chosen the one path I cannot take.
I understand your disappointment, Benedict, but the scales have spoken. And so I ask for your wisdom. Help us find a way to free the Roselle.
It's like, no, seriously, I'm out.
Hyzant will destroy everything you hold dear if you attempt to free them. That way lies ruin. Your choice is to turn your back on this house, to cast aside your land and the people who have built their lives upon it. I will not, I cannot endorse such betrayal.
I agree that we will be ill-prepared to defend the domain this way. Should that come to pass, I am prepared to flee with the Roselle and search for Centralia. They say it is home to a boundless salted sea. Surely a land where none need fight for salt is a land worth seeking. This is an opportunity, Benedict. We could find a new home instead of fighting the wars of old yet again.
Why not channel that resolve to lead the people of Norzelia as their king?
Shh, Benedict. Shut up, Benedict.
You hold the power and the might. You lack only the will. With the salt crystals in hand, you shall ascend the throne. I shall see to it that you are coronated. Then we can liberate the Roselle, or whatever else your heart desires.
Liberate the Roselle, or whatever else. I never dreamed I would hear such callous words fall from your lips.
I stand by them. I care only that you and the legacy of House Wolford are safe and secure. I shall offer my counsel by force, if needed.
You don't mean to fight the lad.
Stand down, Benedict.
No, Anna. This is a challenge that I must accept.
I beg you to reconsider. If you mean to proceed with this folly, then you will do so over my dead body. You can do so much more, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the upper hand. Esfrost and Hyzant would bend the knee to you. You could unite all Norzelia under your rule.
You were right about me, Benedict. I lack the will. I have no desire to rule Norzelia. I wish to see an oppressed people set free and nothing more.
At what cost? Would you see your loyal subjects conquered by another nation?
I would forfeit my lordship. The people of Wolfort will endure without me. The Roselle have no such champion for their cause. We are the only ones who can set them free.
Give me the order, and I shall reduce Hyzant to rubble. Then they shall be free.
The ensuing battle will only breed further resentment, or worse, displace others who will be treated like the Roselle. War cannot solve every problem, and our liberation of the Roselle shall prove as much.
So, you now take blind counsel from your betrothed. To think that an arranged marriage will lead to this folly.
Shut up, Benedict.
Enough! I came to this conclusion of my own free will. I have seen the challenges that face Norzelia, and this is how I choose to respond.
You are every inch Lady Destra's child. Your compassion steers you headlong into every conflict. Alas, compassion is easily trampled. It can only exist so long as it has an army at its back. My patience grows thin, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the power to bring peace to Norzelia.
You're wrong. It is little more than the catalyst for another protracted war.
A war we can win. Let me lead you to victory.
There is always a war to be won. Do you not see the cycle at work?
Mm-hmm.
I will break that cycle and use my power to liberate the oppressed.
You talk of fleeing from your duty, of pure fantasy.
We need you, Benedict. Why can you not put our differences aside?
This is absurd. You race toward your own destruction, and I will not be party to it. Lord Simon entrusted me with the future of this house. And I swore an oath to Lady Destra that I would protect you no matter what the cost.
You are shackled to the past, Benedict.
I would call it loyalty.
And it has come to this. For the sake of our future, I must strike you down.
Prepare yourself. You came, you missed.
Here!
You came, you missed. I yield. Grant me the mercy of a swift death.
No.
Yeah.
Neither father nor mother would stand for the killing of a loyal retainer.
As like
Rest
the
of us
camera
shall
was
make our way
amusing.
to Hyzant in secret. You will remain here. Lead the people out of the Wolfort domain before the Hyzantian army assaults this castle, and keep them safe.
These are your orders, in exchange for sparing my life?
These are not orders, and there is no exchange to be made. This is the last thing I will ever ask of you as my steward and loyal friend of House Wolfort.
And so, you follow in the footsteps of Lord Simon and Lady Destra, leaving me behind with the most arduous tasks. I shall rise to the occasion, my lord. I shall do whatever is required to see that the Wolfort name and its people survive. Should House Wolfort lose its lord, I shall lead the house forward in your stead.
Go for it, buddy.
I have no doubt you will.
I just promoted him too. I'm so mad. Turned out to be such a jerk. Like, I get it, but my guy, come on.
Benedict.
Mule-headed fool.
That's what I'm saying.
We've each made our choices. Now we must walk the path we believe is right.
Yes.
King Roland, this decision means casting Glenbrook aside.
Sided with him. Clearly. I just think of the ProZD skit where it's like, oh, I'm so sad you're dying. He's like, it'll be fine. He's like, oh, you have all my best equipment on. He's like, are you serious? Is that what?
I know I cannot ask you to come with me, but will you agree to see to the salt crystals?
No. I am sorry, my friend. But I am not worthy to oversee such an important task.
Of course you are. You have always striven to be fair and just.
Except for today.
You hold me much too high in regard. Our conversation earlier made me realize the truth. My faith was misguided, as were my actions. I believed exacting vengeance upon Esfrost would be proof enough I was Glenbrook's rightful king. But I gave no thought to the bloody cost of revenge. This kingdom and its subjects should not have to suffer such a selfish fool upon the throne.
Look, you're trying to...
Then, you will come with me?
Roland is trying every step of the way during this game to not be king, while at the same time complaining that he should be king. Roland, I'm sick of your crap. I'm just like, oh, and at the same time, I'm like, hey, what a, like, character that is written like how humans are, where you're just, you're saying one thing and you're doing the other.
I shall. Not as your king, but as your friend. If I can help those in need, that is enough. Glenbrook has the geographical advantage, and the salt crystals. And there are a small handful of trustworthy nobles remaining. I'm certain they will ensure the people thrive, even without a king. Glenbrook is in too powerful a position for foreign powers to interfere.
Roland.
You know you aren't leaving me behind. I've come this far by your side. I'm not abandoning you now. You have my thanks, Huette.
Frederica, don't you think you ought to make your convictions clear to your companions?
No, yeah, I was like, I get it, but I'm just like, buddy, this is what being a king is. You're gonna feel useless all the time. Like, unless you're in a state of peace, that's just how it is, where you're like, the fate of the world rests on my shoulders. So, yeah, I don't know. This game is very interesting. I was something else I was gonna say. Did anybody get the coin back from Benedict? We kind of need that. Could we give that to Flanagan? I'm just saying.
Well, it's common knowledge by now that I am an Isfrosti of Rosellan descent.
Yeah, I gotta step to the plate. Pretty much, like, I don't know. He's so down on himself, and it's like, he could very well do the job, but because he's like, no, I couldn't. You're like, buddy, it's, come on.
I was a lonely child who hated that her hair was a different color from everyone else. But then I joined House Wolford. I met Jerome and witnessed the cruelty that my fellow Roselle suffered at the source. And I learned how brave my mother was, how long and hard she fought for her people's freedom. Compared to the horrors they went through, I have lived a life of privilege and comfort. I am proud to be a Rosellan, and proud to be a Wolford. I wish to be strong like my Lady Mother before me. And I wish to see
Lady
her
Mother.
dream of freeing our people fulfilled. I understand the difficulties that lie ahead, but hope that I might have you all with me.
We will always be there beside you, Frederica.
My lord, Hyzant's army has sent a message ahead of their forces. It says, the Grand Norzalian mines must be conferred to the goddess as a divine offering.
An offering? Sounds more like an ultimatum.
Precisely. If we refuse to relinquish the mines, they'll put the Wolford domain to the sword.
Then we've no time to waste. We must make ready to leave at once.